almost every single day of the year. Now, being called still, there are trays inside of there, perforated trays, and at regular intervals. Our distiller's beer is going to be dropped in right about the 17th tray. It's going to start making its way down through all those perforations. Now, at the same time, we're going to be pumping a column of steam up from the bottom. It's at 200 degrees. It's a really important number because alcohol volatilizes at a much lower temperature than water does. So when the steam hits that distiller's beer, all the alcohol turns to gas and goes up. All the water and the spent grains keep on going down. Now they get collected and sent over to the dry house. Now, after all of the grain gets dried out, farmers come and pick it up. They use it for feed for their livestock because we don't like to waste anything around here if we can. And we're going through 15 semi-trucks full of grain every day here. So, got a lot of grain for feed. So that first evaporated alcohol, that first distillation, we call that low wine. Once it's condensed back down, it's not quite perfect yet. It's not ready for barreling. So it has to go through a second distillation process. Happens in the basement of that building. Big old copper doubler is down there. Basically looks like a still pot. Now, copper is a natural purifying agent. So it's going to pull out any of the rest of the impurities in the bourbon distillate to come up with high wine, which is at a higher proof than the low wine was. And it's going to look crystal clear. You might know it better as White Dog, White Lightning, or Moonshine. Yes. Now we're going to pop in here real quick so you can get a close look up at the still, get any pictures that you would like. As you walk in, you're going to notice it's a little loud and it's a little warm. We have a couple of cook tubs in there making mash for the next fermentation batch. On your left-hand side, though, you're going to see two tail boxes. One is marked low wine and one is marked high wine. So you'll be able to see the bourbon production we're actually making today. May not look like an impressive amount of liquid, but there's enough bourbon distillate coming off of there to fill one barrel every 93 seconds. Like I said, it's going to be a little loud, so we won't talk a whole lot in there. Just want you to have a minute to take a picture and see the still up close. Groovy? Yep. Let's do it. Regeneration is a very important part of the process. We are replanting one tree for every barrel we're making. 1, like tannins. So good for wine, not so tasty in bourbon. You got guys like Mike there that are going to hand put together each and every barrel, selecting the stage that fit together the best. There's no glue, screws, or anything like that holding the barrels together. It's just pressure. Now all the barrels get a level 4 char, so it's going to be 55 seconds of a natural gas flame going inside of each and every barrel. It also creates what we call an alligator char. Kind of looks like alligator skin in there. Now finally, each barrel is going to get its rings, its top and its bottom. The hole gets drilled, the bump gets put in, they get shipped over to us. We're going to give them a quick quality control check, make sure they weren't damaged in transit before they get filled up and then hand rolled into one of the rig houses. Now we're currently aging about 2.6 million barrels, so we don't rotate our barrels. Once they're in there, they hang out, take a nice long nap. When they're finally ready, they get hand rolled back out, taken to a dump porch for their initial filtration there, and we finally get to see the fruits of all of our labors. Thank you. Beautiful demonstration of the distillation process up to this point, all the way from the grapes coming in and being inspected to where they're milled, turned into mash. The mash is cooled. During fermentation is where we're actually going to add in some of the previous mash as well. It's called a sour mash process. If anybody's ever made friendship bread or sourdough bread, it's the same kind of concept. You take a little of the previous batch to add into the new one so you have a consistent flavor. We're all about consistency. We want to make sure every single bottle that you have tastes just like the last one. Now, at the very end of the process, after we've gone through both distillations, you have the high wine that you saw coming off that second tail box. It gets into a cistern tank, which is just a big old stainless steel tank. That's where it's held until it's time for proofing and barreling. Now, we talked about the first group there that bourbon can't be higher than 125% alcohol when it goes into a barrel. Now, stuff like Jim Beam White Label, it's going to be about 130 to 135 proof when it's done. So we have to add in some of that Kentucky water to bring the alcohol level down to the legal limit. That's where the proofing tanks come in. They look a lot like these guys do, except much, much, much bigger. And there's a little guy in there called a hydrometer. Kind of looks like an old-fashioned mercury thermometer, if anybody is old enough to remember what those look like. And it tells the engineers exactly how much water has to be put in to proof down to the proper level. Once that's done, basically your setup looks just like this. You get a stick, you get a barrel, you get a hose. Not garden variety, but it does its job pretty well. Gets the bourbon where it needs to go. It looks a lot like this. They stick it in the hole, they turn it on. There you go. You got bourbon coming out. You got bourbon going into the barrel. It fills up the barrel. All nice. Okay. Fills up the barrel. This is why they make me tour and they don't let me work in production. Okay. Oh, just gonna turn that off so I don't make more of a mess. No. This is an actual barrel. This is actual bourbon. Once this barrel's full, it's gonna go take a nap. One of the rig houses is gonna hang out there for about 4 years or so. Now, just in case you don't believe me, if anybody wants to come up, you're welcome to come and play with my bourbon. It's really easy. Put your hands in like this, rub your fingers together like this, get a little friction. You can smell the mash. That's right, you're not old enough to do it anyway. You have to be old enough to drink to come and play with my bourbon. But if anybody wants to, you're welcome to come on up. There we go.
It's still recording,
I don't recommend licking the barrel because some of those tubs are not fun. Yeah.
Yeah, might give those.
Yeah, exactly. It's not fun.
Oh, there's a sweetness to that. Oh yeah. Yeah, oh, it's stick. Now my hands are sticky.
That's a pretty nice Nashville. Best smelling hand sanitizer ever. Now, one of the ways that we can affect the flavor of our products is, remember, 75% of the flavor is just from the wood. One of the ways we affect the products is proofing.
Smells good, Mom?
And age of the barrel. So how long it's sticking in the rick house. That little guy in there, that's Jim Beam White Label, so it's gonna hang out in a warehouse for about 4 years or so. Now, something like Basil Hayden over here on this side, it's gonna hang out for longer. It's gonna be an artfully aged product, so it's gonna be at least 6 years old before it comes out. And then you have one of my favorite products, Knob Creek. 9 years old, only gets proof down to 100 proof when it goes into a bottle as opposed to the 80 over there with the Jim Beam White Label. And it's one of the things that makes Knob Creek more distinctive from Jim Beam. We tried both those products, right? You're familiar with those flavors. They don't taste the same at all, right? They start out as the exact same mash bill. So that goes to show what a little bit of age and a little bit of change in proof can do to your product. Now, you saw the water. You saw the bourbon going into the barrel. Gonna hang out there for a good old long time. Now, Knob Creek in particular, small batch, 9 years old. Now that means that somebody's got to go into the warehouse and have the horrible, laborious, terrible job testing the bourbon to see if it's done.
Darn.
Yeah, I volunteered too, and then they put me on tours, so.
You're taking all the problem.
I know, but that's okay. So these folks, they go in and they test the bourbon. They're saying, okay, that barrel's ready, that barrel's ready, that barrel's ready. And then they get to 1 or 2 and they go, oh, that's not only ready, that's amazing. So we have a concept called the single barrel. Now, single barrel Knob Creek happens to be like my top Knob Creek flavor. It tastes like the regular Knob Creek, but better. Each and every single barrel is going to have its own particular flavor profile because it's not getting married with anything. It's one single barrel that gets dumped, filtered, proofed, bottled, goodbye, off to the world. And also, it only gets proofed down to 120. Incidentally, we happen to be in the house where all of the single barrel Knob Creeks come. Out on the duck porch, they've got a couple of barrels of Knob Creek single barrel that's getting ready to dump. And then they get piped into the other room. So if you're interested, we can pop out onto the duck porch. You can see what the dumping process looks like. Then, we can go harass my bottling team. So yes.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right, let's do it.
I like how the yeah.
Watch out. Move. All right, now we go.
Start floating around in the bourbon. Now, we talked about chugging bourbon earlier. People drink the bourbon, not chew it. So, this first filtration process is pretty important. So, all the char that's in the barrel gets filtered out. So, Jim, you don't mind? Give me a little roll. Oh, my glass here. That's good. Let me help you. I usually get drenched in bourbon. That's pretty pretty, isn't it? There you go. Look, get best smelling cologne ever. You didn't get all the ladies now. That's enough? Fair enough. All right, friends. So I highly recommend that you do not try to drink this because, let's face it, this glass is disgusting. It's been out here for longer than I've worked here. And that's character. And I'm not sure that's the kind of character I want in my bourbon. But, plus the fact that if you drink out of it, they're going to holler at me and they might not let me come back to work tomorrow. So I'll really like my job, but if you promise to behave yourselves, I will let you pass this around and give it a smell. Recommend do it with your mouth open. That way you can get some of the finishing notes on the back of your tongue as well. My friend.
There, you pass that to the left.
Not that open. Thank you so much.
Oh, that's bad luck going to the right.
Now, our 6th generation master distiller, Booker, was the man that was responsible for Knob Creek. He released this small batch creation in 1992, named it after the hamlet in Kentucky that Abraham Lincoln was born in. That's why the Knob Creek bottles all have that wavy texture to them now. They wouldn't make it look more like water. Okay. Now, speaking of marketing, Booker was a marketing genius. And he took over distillation at a time that bourbon was kind of starting to take a slump in the market. You figure back in the 50s, and so bourbon was everywhere. Everybody's drinking it all times a day, had it at lunch. People were closing meetings out with cocktails. You went home and have a cocktail hour. It was acceptable to drink anytime. everybody was drinking bourbon. That was the best stuff out there. Now, the next generation or two, for some reason, people got weird and decided they didn't particularly like flavor in their alcohol, apparently, because people started drinking vodka and gin and wine coolers. So he was real confused. So he starts watching his boys. You know, I figure these are big guys. They're rolling around these 500-pound barrels. The space in between the barrels, itty living space. So he was noticing his boys checking bourbon in a particular couple of barrels. And every time they did, the bellies are swiping past the barrels, cleaning them off. So he checked these barrels himself and he went, doggone it, this is the best bourbon in the damn warehouse. So that's how he discovered the concept of the small barrel, the small batch of the single barrel bourbon. A couple of rubber snakes on the floor and clean shiny barrels. Because he figured, hey, we make this small batch stuff, you put small batch on a bottle, suddenly people go, oh, wait a minute, there's not a lot of it. Maybe I should get one. You call it premium. Ding, top shelf. Oh my goodness, it's good stuff. It's all right, it's expensive, it's good stuff, it's premium, it's a small batch, I need this. Marketing genius. So, as I mentioned, we're gonna go harass my bottling team. They bottle all of the Knob Creek single barrel that you find up in the outpost up there. They changed the name of that building so many times I can't keep up. So they bottle all the bottles that go up there, as well as the bottles that go out into the world. And if you were thinking about taking a single barrel home with you today, I would recommend you pick it up here instead of up there. As if you do it here.
About this particular part of the process, I highly recommend you direct them in that direction because they know a little bit more about this part than I do. But if you want to take one of those personalized bottles home, what you're going to do is you're going to listen for whichever one's going, take me home, and you're going to grab it off the line. There are some stickers over here at the countertop and some markers. On said sticker, you're going to put your initials or your first name in the absolute neatest handwriting that you've ever written in your entire life because I have really bad eyesight and I'm going to have to read those stickers. All right? Now, once you've done that, you're going to put that sticker on either one of the shoulders here. Not the bottom, not the side, right here on one of the shoulders. Then prance yourself over here to rinse your bottle. You don't actually have to prance, but it really makes my day. Now, what do you think I'm going to rinse my bottle with? That's right, because bourbon is the answer to all things here at Beam. We don't want to change the proof or the flavor of what we're putting in there, so you rinse it with the same product. And these raised letters that are on your bottle, when you go to put it on the line, make sure they're turned around facing the back. You set it right there. Easy as pie, right? Yeah. Recess time, friends.
You get to record and mommy and daddy picking bottles.
All right, can I follow you though?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, have fun picking out your own bottle.
Pick yours. Are you picking each?
No, yeah, you pick one too.
Pick one, Mom. Pick one.
Which one is it called?
Pick me, please. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm allowed to sell you other small bottles. I would use this one out.
Nice prints.
Oh, wow. Just writing their names. You know, nothing too special. And their neatest handwriting, Mom. I like your hair.
That's my neatest handwriting matches up.
You said initials, right?
Yeah.
Good dad?
Yeah, I was able to fit my initials and my name. Oh,
Cool.
Yeah, he just put his initials. He put your name on it.
Look at all these pipes, dude. That's where we
Stickers are
were.
small, so I imagine.
Look at all that.
I would pass it. It gets dumped out there.
We're gonna write their names on the cool golden stickers. good.
Got a good shot?
Yep.
Nice Nissan. Even.
Perfect.
Warehouse F. It is one of the oldest warehouses that Beam currently has, built 1948. Also one of the smaller ones. 9 stories tall, holds upwards of 20,000 barrels. Our newer ones stand 7 stories tall, but they're a little longer and a little wider, and they can hold upwards of 50 or 60,000 barrels.
Oh God, it smells good in here.
Wow.
Holy sweet baby Jesus.
I was just about to say that. Okay guys, so we just ordered our food, but I want to show y'all something. Yesterday, when we were, stuff that I was telling you about at the hotel, you know, where we went to that, you know, the distilleries, guess what happened when we went to the last distillery? My tooth came out. Alright, there.
Oh no,
I know, I was like, I didn't even taste blood. Well, maybe I tasted like a few drops of blood, but
yeah, I have a
nothing.
in front of mine. It'd be better.
it was so cool that my tooth came out. I was like, my tooth came out. Alright guys, the food is here, but look at how massive my pizza is. Look, it's got a big burn crust bubble thing.
That's on the dress because it was in the fire. It's on the fire.
Yeah. Look at all that. Dun, 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 dun. The pizza was amazing. Got some of my parents trying to finish the pizza. Yes, yell at me. I do not like the pizza crust, unless if it's stuffed crust. Does that count for something? Does that count? We also like
Crust is delicious.
yeah, but hey, I'm not a big fan of crust. I'm not a crust guy. But I'm gonna end it there. Thank y'all so much for watching today's video. Please like and subscribe. I hope y'all enjoyed watching bourbon being made. It's a cool process. This was a long video.
And
educational purposes. So hope y'all enjoy. If this video gets demonetized, then YouTube is crazy. But yeah, I had fun otherwise. I've said it before, but I'm gonna say it again. Honestly, watching bourbon being made is pretty cool. You know, I like to see stuff being made, you know what I mean? I wonder how toys are made. I wonder how, like, I don't know, bricks are made, even though they're probably made from concrete and paint. But it's cool. So I hope y'all enjoyed today's video. Bye.